Now, what initially began as a conflict between Israel and Hamas militants has now rapidly spiraled into a regional security crisis, casting a shadow of uncertainty and instability over West Asia. In the latest, a drone attack on a base in Jordan has killed 3 American troops, while at least 34 US soldiers are said to be injured in the attack. It is the first time American military personnel have been killed by hostile fire in West Asia since the start of the Gaza war. According to US officials, the attack happened at a remote logistics outpost in northeast Jordan called Tower 22, along the country's shared borders with Syria and Iraq, where about 3,500 US troops are stationed in Jordan. The one-way attack drone hit near the outpost's living quarters, causing injuries that ranged from minor cuts to brain trauma. Moreover, the US military base in Syria is just 20 kilometers north of Tower 22. Just last week, Iranian-backed militants had launched a barrage of ballistic missiles and rockets at the Al-Assad airbase in western Iraq. The US President Joe Biden blames Iran-backed militants for the attack. He vows to hold the perpetrators accountable and says the US will respond to the attack. The US Defense Secretary also blames the Iran-backed militias for these attacks. Lloyd Austin says that the US will respond at a time and place of their own choice. An umbrella group for Iran-backed militants called the Islamic Resistance in Iraq has claimed responsibility for the attack. The militant group says the attacks on US forces were carried out at several locations in Syria and Iraq. Post the drone attack, Iran continues to stay on high alert, although Tehran has dismissed reports of its alleged role in the strikes. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson says the claims are made with specific political goals to reverse the realities of the region, further adding that the claims indicate that they are influenced by third parties. Jordan has condemned the quote-unquote terrorist attack on US troops, although according to Amman, the drone attack that killed 3 US troops did not occur on its territory, further adding the attack targeted Al-Tanf base in Syria. Now, to discuss this further, we are being joined by Morgan Lorraine Vina, a senior fellow at US National Security Institute. Ms. Vina, thank you so much for joining us here on WION.
Thank you for having me.
All right, what are your first thoughts of an attack like this and the fact that Iran has completely denied its involvement in this attack?
Well, I think after 3.5 months of Iranian-backed militias attacking the United States, our troops, our interests, and our partners in the region, unfortunately, it was no surprise that we would eventually see U.S. casualties from these attacks. Iran clearly supports, it backs financially, it resources all of these proxy groups in the region. These groups respond to Iran. To be clear, this is a policy of President Joe Biden not wanting to escalate tensions in the region. As a result of that, U.S. deterrence has completely eroded, and Iran feels emboldened to back these militias, these terrorist groups, to attack U.S. interests. It gives the United States the impression that we are leaving the region, that we are abdicating our responsibilities in the region, particularly of those of our U.S. partners. And as a result of that, Iran feels emboldened to continue attacking U.S. and its troops.
Right. Since you say that, what do you make of the statement coming in from Lloyd Austin that there will be a place and there will be an attack, but of U.S.'s choice?
Sure. Well, I mean, the United States has so far chosen to take the high road here and not wanting to escalate tensions. The United States has said that this is, it will pick a time and place of its choosing to retaliate. It's been saying that for 3.5 months. And so far, Iran has continued to attack the United States. What the United States hasn't done yet is we haven't gone after the regime in Tehran itself. Iran does not feel threatened here. And until we actually go after the regime as opposed to its proxies, Iran will continue its attacks unabated.
Right. Ms. Veena, if I could quickly ask you, this entire thing has clearly spiraled into a regional security crisis since the Israel-Gaza war started. What can we expect in the months to come?
Well, I think the ball really is in the United States' court here. All of this since the 10/7 attacks, Iran has really sought to back not only Hamas, but as I mentioned previously, many many militias and terrorist groups within the region, whether it's been in Iraq, Syria, off the coast of Yemen with the Houthis. I think we'll continue to see Iran escalate tensions. The United States really will need to hit back hard in order to reestablish deterrence and prevent Iran from continuing these actions. Unfortunately, right now, I think we're going to continue to see more of the same until the United States really chooses to put an end to this.
All right, Ms. Veena, thank you so much for joining us here on WION and getting us all those insights.
Thank you for having me.